What's up, maniacs? Today is going to be a tutorial on 3D image-based lighting in Photoshop. We are going to replicate the ring and the Superman logo. Now, I'm still amateur. This is basically just bits and pieces I picked up along the way. I've watched many tutorials and I took something from each of them. So, what is image-based lighting? It's almost like an overlay, but what it does is it adds depth and a shine to it to make it look like the image-based lighting is inside the texture you're using. It also adds detail around the edges and the bevels and stuff like that. Also, you can also apply a texture before you get into 3D mode, and it'll apply that texture on top of that image and retain that texture in 3D mode. So just to give you an example, this is the 3D image we are going to apply for the image-based lighting. Now getting to the texture part of it, I applied a texture to the base color, black colored image of the logo, and I did a clipping mask. So it retained the texture, as you could see, and it also has the image-based lighting inside it, which is pretty cool. Also, another example of a different kind of abstract image you can use for image-based lighting. The House of Zod also. All right. I also applied a completely different texture to this. And the 3D mode actually refined all these edges, and the bevel came out really, really nice on this. So let's hop into it. We got our logo. Let's throw it in. Let's resize this a bit. Center this. I want to work with a plain black color. So it's just color overlay, okay, and then we want to rasterize layer style and then convert to smart object. All right, select the layer. You want to go into your 3D panel right here. New 3D extrusion from selected layer. All right, now this screen can be a little daunting at first when you first see it. It was for me for a bit. We are not going to mess with the scaling and the moving on all the axes. So, but our sole purpose is we're going to work right into here. So right here is your logo. This is actual texture. Now these are the 5 materials that go towards your image-based lighting right here. The constraints, I think you can mess with the angles or something like that on the lighting in different areas. We're not going to fuck with that. I don't know too much about that. I haven't messed with it. So let's go to our 3D properties panel. All right, here we go. We do not want to catch, we want to catch shadows for this purpose. We do not want to cast the shadow like you could see right down here. So we're going to uncheck that. You have different presets you can mess with. Over here, here. So we're just going to stay with the basic bevel. This is your extrusion. It goes backwards and forwards and pops out like that. We just want to stay right where it is. All right, now we want to go back to our 3Ds panel. Take these 5 materials for your image-based lighting. You want to select them all, then go to your properties panel. We want to go to it's a completely different panel now. We want to go to the diffuse. We want to go to the diffuse folder, and we want to replace the diffuse and select our image. It applied the image as more of an overlay. It's still showing the depth of the extrusion, but no detail or anything like that. You can see the edges are jagged. So Photoshop needs a render in after we play with it with some of the settings. So shine. Now this slider, you can see, will adjust some of the shine into it. I like to leave it at the default 20. You can mess with it on your own. Reflection. Now, this is useful, and if the brighter it is, it's taking surrounding light and images, I think, and applying it to it. So for this purpose, we are just going to use a little bit of reflection. Leave it at 4%. All right, now that we have that squared away, we go back to our logo. Properties. Preset that. It's already there. Let's go mess with the contour. You can get different contours. We'll select this one, and what really brings out the detail in all of this is the strength. You'll see it constrain. Watch. And the more you add to it, the more depth it has to it. 37 might be a little too much. And as you see, the higher you go, the more it warps it. The lower percentage is probably best. So why isn't it not giving any extrusion depth? So I like to stay at 15%. So back to 3D. 3D mode, properties, presets. What? There we go. And then that's better. This one, oh, it's on steps. I don't want that one. There we go. That's more like it. So let's go right to strength. And then there's our detail. Okay, now we can just go a quick look at what we did. As you can see, it added depth to the bevels and everything like that, but the edges are jagged, and what Photoshop has to do is render it, and it'll actually give depth and add a coating shine to it, and you'll see all the detail involved. So we are going to go back to, make sure you have your layer selected, properties. So now we have to render, and depending on your PC, it could take several minutes or a couple minutes. My PC, this will take 2 minutes. I've done this logo a few times. And from what we see, it'll give you an estimated time, and it's exactly 2 minutes. So we're going to pause this. All right, we're back. Let's see how we made out. See, the edges are no longer jagged. There's more detail into the bevel, and it looks a lot more smooth and crisp. So let's get on with the ring. So we're going to go to our ellipse tool, and we want to have a 0 fill because we want to just have a ring, and the stroke is just a simple color of black. Holding shift so you get the perfect size circle. There we go. Layers, Control T, which is center this bad boy, and maybe shorten it up a little bit. There we go. And then going back to that, we'll expand on the stroke a little bit. I think that's perfect. All right, now we're going to repeat the same process we did before. So Eclipse, 3D. 3D from extrusion from a selected leather here. Properties. We are not using that one. That's fine. Let's drop this about there. We don't want to cast shadows in this purpose. So now that we have set that, we'll pick our image-based lighting materials again. Go back to properties. We'll diffuse, replace texture. There, it applied there. We'll add a little bit of reflection to this. Alright, now we applied the image-based lighting on there. Go back to our actual ring. And let's go to contour. Steps or presets. Let me see. Properties, presets. There we go. Extrusion depth. Lower that. Oh, there we go. And then contour. Steps. There. And add the strength. Yeah, see how far you go and it gets warped and all that. So let's go back down to 25. Actually looks all right. All right, now we need to render this. And this will take probably under 2 minutes. Image size is a little smaller and less detail. Yep, it is. We'll be back. All right, we're back. Let's see how we made out. There you go. All right, now let's apply the backdrop and see. There we go. This is 500 by 500. The actual workspace in Photoshop is 512 by 512. There you have it, folks. Image-based lighting in 3D mode, Photoshop. Hope everybody enjoyed this. Cheers.